What up, everybody? Hey, we're back on the Dugout Dispatch from a little hiatus, but we're back with you. We got the All-Star break happening tonight as we record on July 14th. Bold predictions trade deadline is coming up, and we're about to dive into it right now. Welcome, everybody, to the Dugout Dispatch. Tyler Edmonds. I'm Steve Jewell. So happy to be here with you. Tyler, what have you been up to, my man, on our little hiatus?
Steve, them Dugout Dispatch boys are at it again. Dude, man, I've been watching. This is the best time of the year. June, All-Star break. You've got the 4th. You've got the Derby. You've got the All-Star game. You've got grill outs. My birthday. Man,
Go out and shoot like 110 on the golf course, everybody, like I did today.
That's 110 better than I could do, Steve. But hey, that's why you keep going back.
I just want to play bogey golf. I just want to play bogey golf.
You got to go back tomorrow now, and the next day, and
Yeah.
whatever. But dude,
You know what it is? You get that one shot, and you're addicted. The rest of the day.
It pulls
Rest
you
of your
back
life.
in. It pulls you, just like this right here. We're back at it. Like you said, we took a hiatus, but we're back. We got a lot of mid-season stuff to talk about. I bet we're going to be talking about the Cubs here in a little bit. But I'm good, Steve. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you, man. You know, we see each other out and about a little bit in town and stuff like that, but it's been way too long since we've hopped on the pod, and we promise, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try our best to do a little bit better. We got the rest of the season to be here with you guys, but man, what a wild season it has been, and we're going to dive right into it. Trade deadline's coming up. Who's going to be buyers? Who's going to be sellers? And the biggest names on the block. The trade market, it's heating up, ladies and gentlemen. August 3rd is just right around the corner. It'll be here before you know it, just like the All-Star break, which means half of baseball's already gone for the season, which is insane. But the trade deadline is August 3rd, and it's approaching. Every contender is deciding, like our Cubs, whether to go all in or hold back, while fringe teams are trying to determine if they're going to be buyers or sellers. Pitching is expected to be the hottest commodity. Isn't it always at the trade deadline?
Every single year. Every team could use a pitcher or two or three.
Every team could arguably use Tarek Skubal as he continues to dominate trade rumors. So let me throw some questions at you guys, Tyler. I'll throw them to you. You guys let us know your answers to these questions in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. But which team, Tyler, do you think, as of right now, as we record on Tuesday, July 14th, has the most pressure to make a move out of the AL or NL? Which team has the most pressure right now, you think, to make a move?
Look, we're both Cubs fans. It's no secret. And I know we talk about every team, and I'm going to show some love to a Cubs rival later in this episode, in this show, but it's undoubtedly the Cubs. You look at that rotation, you look at that bullpen, you look at all the injuries. If you started on day one, it felt like his third start of the year with Cade Horton going on. It started with him, and it just kept snowballing, and it's turning this big giant iceberg in the middle of the ocean. But yeah, I believe it's Chicago, easy to make a move, at least to buy, because you look at that lineup, you look at the free agents you look at the guys that are going to be free agents at the end of the season. You've got Ian Happ, you've got Jameson Taillon, you've got Seiya Suzuki. I know I'm missing some other guys. Matthew Boyd. You've got all these guys. You've got these older guys, these veteran guys with contracts that have a few more years on them. It's easily Chicago. It is easily Chicago. They have to add arms. And with that being said as well, you look at the possibility of not having baseball next year, which means everybody on everybody's roster is going to be a year older. So yeah, it's the Cubs undoubtedly. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, you're just saying that because you're a Cubs fan, blah, blah, blah. No, you look at the roster, you look at the expectations of that team. That team is a World Series pick for a lot of people. And maybe not that far. Well, there were hell when me and you went to when I went to opening day earlier this year. That's what Kaplan, the ESPN guy out of Chicago.
We saw him. Remember, we were going to the gym. We saw him.
Yeah, that's right. Duh, you were there. Duh. Yeah, they were saying it day one. World Series picks, and I get it. Stuff changes, but it is. I'm sorry, it's undoubtedly Chicago. It is.
Yeah, and I agree wholeheartedly. And before I give my little bit of 2 cents on it, because you said opening day weekend, just FYI, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm more or less speaking to myself. Don't stay up late playing drinking games and thinking that you're cool at 34 years old and you're going to shotgun a beer to cap the night and then try to get up. And I got up. We went to the gym that morning, got our workout in. Went
Steve,
to the game.
Father Time always wins.
It does.
It does.
You can't bounce back at 34 like you could, when you were like 20, 21.
For sure. But yeah.
You live to tell about it. But yeah, I'm with you, the Cubs, man, because like Cade Horton made 2 starts, gets hurt.
Was that it? Just 2? I remember it was the I guess it must have been because it was the Cleveland series that
pulled in the second inning, I'm pretty sure. Second start. And then you're nervous. What's going on? Like 2 days later, they announced he's pretty much out for the season. Cade Horton's probably not going to come back till maybe close to All-Star break next year, probably if we're lucky.
Maybe, yeah.
Justin Steele has a setback. Sucks. We were really hoping that we'd get him back before the All-Star break.
And the problem with him is he's not starting. They've already said he's going to be strictly used in the bullpen.
I think he's going to not only be used in a bullpen, I could see him potentially being an opener, used as an opener as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But even next year,
I wish honestly, if they're going to use him out of the bullpen, not to turn this into all Cubs, but I would be perfectly fine. Just let him be an opener. Let him open for an inning.
Yeah. And I mean, Edward Cabrera has not lived up to expectations so far.
James Anton leads the league in home runs and not in the good way.
But then there's been some guys that's stepped up that I did not expect. This was the year for them to step up. Ben Brown was doing his best year ever as a starting pitcher. Developed a third pitch. That was working well for him. Prayers with Ben Brown. He's got a neck injury again. Last year, he had a neck injury. Turned out, I think it was a benign tumor, which means non-cancerous for those that don't know. Hoping and praying that it's nothing like that related again. Really hated that for him because, man, he was reliable, which is something we've not been able to say about Ben Brown as a starter. Javier Assad stepped up. Craig Counsell's literally meeting dudes for the first time at games, it seems like, almost every other day for relief pitching. But despite all of that, as of right now, they are still currently on a track to win 91 games. So that's why I wholeheartedly agree with you. As of right now, they're on track to win 91 games. Yeah, you better be making a move for starting pitching. Sure. And I'd also throw the Braves in there. They've been dealing with some injuries, especially on the pitching side. But to start out of the gate is hot, and to keep it and to hold it there at the top like they have, until proven otherwise, the Braves is the only team that I can think in the NL that can beat the Dodgers to make it to the World Series. It's not the Brewers. It's just like saying, expecting the Cubs to take the division every year. I'm not going to believe it until it happens. Just like I don't believe that the Brewers can make it to the World Series until they can beat the Dodgers in the NLCS. And I don't think they can. I think it as of right now, the season ended today. I'm still riding on the Braves, but Braves and Cubs, that's my 2 biggest ones. Cubs is not going to go out and get terrible.
I've got another one, and it's not necessarily. It's almost the opposite. It's to make a move, but it's to sell, and that would be the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, yeah.
I think
they're 16 games back.
They're 16 games back, and it's just you've got a lot of veteran guys. The problem is though with guys like Rafi Devers. That contract and the way he's been playing so far, it's going to be hard to move. Willie Adames, that contract's going to be hard to move. Matthew Chapman, not a terrible contract, but he's a little more up in age. You've got other guys. Logan Webb, I know they've talked about he's a guy that they're going to keep, but man, that guy could probably give you a big return. The Buster Posey reign so far as the president of that team, it hasn't worked out in his favor. Tony V, all the drama that's came with all that, you can't blame it all on him, but it just all didn't start off on the right foot, and it spiraled down.
Yeah.
You could also say that there's pressure on the Mets to make a move, but I don't think Steve Cohen just has too much pride to not make a move. Back to the Giants real quick. I think another guy you could talk about possibly on the move, Luis Arias, a guy that's on a 1-year deal that's hitting the crap out of the ball every single year. So those are some teams as well that have pressure, just in the opposite direction.
Let me tell you something, Jack. If you can get Luis Arias, oh my God, what a pickup. That's who I wish Nico Horner was. Nico, not turning into a Cubs podcast, but I think about this almost daily. Nico Horner would be a lot better, and basically,
if he hit the ball, like, or if he made as much contact.
There's a reason why, though. You and I both know, as much as we watch Cubs games, he is the best probably contact hitter on the Cubs. What's happening is the tablets. We want him to hit for more power, and they're wanting him to try to hit for more power and get the ball up and get more homers. He's not that guy. Leave him alone, like Luis Arias. Luis Arias is just like Nico. Luis is going to get you maybe, 4 or 5 homers a year, but he's going to put the ball in play. He's a great contact hitter. OPS RISP. That's the 2 stats that I care about more and more every season. Slugging to get on base and runners in scoring position. Stop trying to make Nico hit for more power. Let him bat like Luis Arias. So if you pick up Luis Arias, that would be a great pickup. He's probably who the Mets thought Bo Bichette was going to be. Hasn't turned out to be that way yet. But, yeah, I digress, and I'll digress with this because I've been thinking about this a lot. And I know we've kind of hinted on it before in a previous episode talking about movies, but I'm thinking about this. The older that I get, the more baseball that I watch. Hot take, Moneyball is a great movie, but it has ruined baseball.
Yeah.
I love Moneyball. I'll watch it every single time that I see it on anywhere. I can just watch it multiple times a day. It's a very well-made movie. It has ruined baseball. Get that your head out of the tablets, man, and start doing the eye test. Feel, you know what I'm saying? Like get back to like contact hitting and putting the ball in play, all those things. But we can save that for off-season ramblings. But yeah. Luis Arias, I agree, would be a good pickup. Giants are definitely going to be sellers. Like you said, the Mets probably should be sellers, but Uncle Steve's got too much pride. So we'll see what happens. But moving right along, next question, Tyler. Who's one player every contender should be calling about?
Well, I would have said Arias, but since, that's pretty much obvious, we've talked about. Another guy, an arm, who I believe his contract ends after this season. He hasn't been pitching as well as he has in the past, but it's Freddie Peralta. I think he's a guy that you put him in the right situation on the right team, the right circumstances, a team that's in the hunt. I mean, it's really hard. You can say what you want about, oh, man, well, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter whether they're in or out of it. And yeah, it does. It can anyways. It can change the whole mentality of a player, of a performance, of everything like that. When your team is 15, let's see real quick. When your team is, let's see how far back the Mets are.
Not to mention they have anybody who pitches for the Mets this season has no infield help.
16. Yeah, exactly. When there's a 50-50 chance of your infield making a play on a ground ball that's put in play, it's really hard to be motivated. They're 12 games back from the wild card. And let me tell you, if a guy like Freddie Peralta could get moved on a team, again, not to turn it into a Cubs podcast, but gosh, I'd love him on that team, especially with
He's who Counsell. I want.
But, he gets put in the right situation, and he's a game changer for an organization. He really is. He's been there. He's done that. He was in the playoffs. I feel like in the last, for the last 5 seasons, he's played in the playoffs with the Brewers.
Was he on the All-Star team last year?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know he's at least made it. I mean, I really
Listen,
think he has.
he's a great
But
pitcher, man. I look at him almost like David Peterson. I wasn't mad when the Cubs picked him up. He had a high ERA, but because of the infield that was playing behind him, and you take someone like that and you put him on a team like the Cubs where there's just Gold Gloves up the center, and so you can't look at these guys as ERAs too heavy, but that's a good one for starting pitching for me. I think it's Tarek Skubal. It's just who's going to shell out that kind of money. I could see maybe the Braves potentially wanting to make a move for. I just feel like the Braves may be the one.
I'm going to make a prediction right now about Tarek Skubal.
Yeah. What you got?
I don't think he gets traded, and I think Detroit. And this is after. So I did a show with my buddy Tommy with Cubs on Tap, and he convinced me of it. I don't think Tarek Skubal gets traded, and I think Detroit is going to do everything they can to keep Skubal in Detroit for the long haul. I think this AL is such it's a bombshell. It is so all over the place. It is a roller coaster. You look at other than the Yankees and the Rays, it's really just a big giant cluster crap, whatever you want to call it. It really is. And as meh as Detroit has been, even though they finished the second half, at least the last 2 weeks, on a pretty strong, they had a strong finish to the first half. I don't think Skubal's going anywhere. I don't.
My only argument to that, if they didn't want him to go anywhere and they cared more than what we think, then I don't think they would ever went to arbitration this offseason with his contracts. That's the only hang up I have. But you're probably right, because here's the thing.
They have a lot of young guys, young core.
True, but here's what happens, and as well as I know, all of us baseball fans know that when the trade deadline gets here, the prices on these guys become way, way inflated. And so
for sure.
I can only imagine the price is going to be outrageous in the ask for what they'll want back, and farm line pick and draft picks too for Tarek Skubal, that probably no one's going to do it. And if anyone does, I don't know. I feel like it could be the Braves, but I don't know. I think you could be right, just for the reason that it's going to cost too much for him.
I would love to see him get traded, though, because I love a trade deadline that we have all kinds of moves, especially those ones where you're just like, holy crap. And obviously a Tarek Skubal trade would do that. With that being said, though, like you said, Steve, you were kind of, it's going to be hard for a team to throw the farm at Skubal when you're getting maybe 10 starts and that's it. 10 starts. Is it worth it to your team? Like you look at a team like, I keep going back to the Cubs. Would the Cubs want to do that? I don't think so. I don't think they would, because they know, we all know for a fact the Cubs aren't going to be the frontline people for Skubal. They're not, because he's asking for $400 million easy. And so most teams aren't going to do that. As sad as I hate to say it, it wouldn't shock me if the Dodgers did it, because they have the form. A lot of people look at the Dodgers and just think, oh, they buy their players, blah, blah, blah. They really don't. They do, but they develop.
They're playing within the rules.
They develop better than anybody. They really do. You could say that about the Brewers as well, but the Dodgers are right there too. They do everything so well. And so now they've developed all these guys that they have down in their minor league system that they could easily make a trade with Detroit. On your, you talking about the Braves, that would be a humongous pickup for the Braves. I just don't know. I don't know if the Braves would do. The Braves have always, I don't know if they've ever really, at least in my lifetime, I can't think of a time that the Braves, now that in 2021, they added several pieces that ended up helping them win the World Series, but none of them were guys. They got Jorge Soler, Jock Peterson, Eddie Rosario. They weren't guys. It was good for them, but it wasn't that big marquee name. I don't think that I don't think they would do that, especially because I know they're not going to be a team in free agency that's going to sign Skubal. They've never done anything like that. It again though, having a 1-2 punch of Chris Sale and Skubal would be nuts.
It'd be nasty. It would be nasty. And before we move on, got one more question on this topic. If there is one, what's one under the radar trade that could change the whole playoff race?
One under the radar trade. It is a big name, but it's a name that has not been talked about a lot. Actually, it really hasn't been talked about much, I don't think, because everybody's been talking about Skubal so much. Mason Miller. I think with San Diego, I know they're back and forth in the wild card race. They don't have a chance in the West. They really don't. I want to say they just got new ownership. They're in a spot where Mason Miller's value could be at the highest it's ever been. As much as I hate to say it, it feels like every pitcher you see that throws like that. I know a lot of people in the back of the minds, whether they want to admit it or not, they don't even like talking about it out loud. It's almost like there's a timetable on that arm. There really is. It's almost like in the back of our minds we're thinking, okay, this is awesome right now, but when's he gonna go on the IL? When's it gonna happen? And so he's a guy that his value, I think, could be at its absolute highest right now. And he is a guy that the right team gets him. And that's the other thing too. You talk about every team needs a starting pitcher. Every team could use a bullpen arm as well. And he's a guy that would be asking a whole lot, at least the Padres from that standpoint. But he's a guy that I feel like you could do that with because he has several years left on his contract and he is a game changer. We saw it last year in Chicago. I don't know how in the world we were able to get through that series against San Diego with Mason Miller in the back of that bullpen. But I think he's right. And I hate saying under the radar because he's not an under the radar player. It's just we haven't heard much about Mason Miller possibly be traded because of the other guys like Skubal and Peralta and Logan Webb possibly being traded.
I've seen a couple weeks ago a little bit of trade rumor stuff on Mason Miller floating around, but it was more just like speculation type stuff. I do like that one. Here's mine, and I've been thinking about this past couple of days. For me, it would be if the White Sox made a move for Aroldis Chapman. And because if I was the White Sox at this trade deadline, because of all the CBA crap that's coming up at the end of the season, right, and the potential lockout,
this is his final year on his contract, right?
I'm pretty sure.
I think it is.
I would be buyers, and I would bite the bullet and just potentially pay the money. I wouldn't give up any picks or anybody in the farm. I'd pay the money to get Aroldis Chapman, even if it just turns into the rest of the season rental, essentially. And if you can, pick up one or two more good pieces to set yourself up for the coming years. Because of all the CBA crap, you're in a good spot to do it. And nobody knows what it's going to look like after this year. So if I'm a team that's doing better than expected, I've got momentum and some future stuff there, like the White Sox or the Cardinals or even Tampa Bay or even the Marlins, I would be kind of thinking about some stuff like that. But under the radar for me, I'd have to go with the White Sox trying to make a move to get Aroldis Chapman. But we'll see what happens.
I wrote one more real quick because he's a guy that hasn't played much this year. When he has, he's been kind of Eugenio Suarez. I think Cincinnati. I don't think Cincinnati's really got a chance. I know they made it last year.
Boy, let me tell you something. JJ Bleday was a good pickup. He's looked good. Nathaniel Lowe has looked good. And like with those two, Sal Stewart, when he's on, he's looked pretty good.
For sure.
So
I just think Eugenio Suarez is a guy that his contract ends at the end of the season. I know he really likes being in Cincinnati. I'm not 100% sure if he has a trade or if he has a no trade clause or not. I just know he picked Cincinnati this offseason because him and his family really love that town. but he's a guy that he gets on the right-handed power is hard to find, especially at this trade deadline. He's a guy that he could be a game changer in a lineup. I know he went to Seattle last season, and Seattle was one game away from making it to the World Series. And Suarez was part of that lineup. He's been there. He's done that. But he's another guy that he could be an under the radar trade if Cincinnati decides to move from him.
Yeah, that could be interesting as well. We'll see what happens. Moving right along, we may move into a little bit into kind of rapid fire on some of these things, some of these topics and questions, so we don't run out of time. But moving right along, we got the All-Star break awards, kind of like if we were to give out kind of like All-Star break half the season awards, if you will. If you had right now, if they could give out the Cy Young Award, who do you think, as of right now, would get it?
AL?
AL and NL.
AL right now for me is Cam Slitler. I almost said Cam Slitler. Even though I tell you what, Dylan Cease, he's right behind him, because if you look at Dylan Cease's strikeout numbers, he's got 148 strikeouts in just over 98 innings with a 2.56 ERA. Cam Slitler, he's rocking a 2.05 ERA, 137 strikeouts in 118 innings. And his WHIP is under 1. That's what's really impressive with him. The Yankees, especially without Aaron Judge, I mean, they've got a cakewalk to the playoffs. They really do. But he's a guy that has really taken over as the anchor of that rotation. And that's with the rotation that I want to say Garrett Cole's been back and forth. I don't know. Did he get hurt again? I haven't heard much about him ever since he's came back. You got Carlos Rodon. They're missing Max Fried right now. They're a team that Slitler is a guy that when he starts, he's really carried the team so far. But Dylan Cease is another guy that's right behind him. As far as the NL, I think right now if you would have asked me the first half of the first quarter of the season.
Go ahead and say it. I don't want to give it to him.
The first quarter would have been Christopher Sanchez with just that with that completely just crazy first quarter he had. What was it, 50 some innings or whatever of just no runs. But I think it's Jacob Mizorowski. As much as I'd love to say a guy like Ohtani, because I want to see Ohtani win a Cy Young eventually, Mizorowski is just a complete game changer. His WHIP is actually lower than Slitler's. It's 0.757, which is ridiculous. 167 strikeouts in 111 innings, a 1.62 ERA. He's a guy that, the Cubs, even though I don't think he got the decision in Milwaukee, but when he came to Chicago about a month ago, he made us look stupid. He's made everybody look stupid. I want to say he had a 15 strikeout.
Hey, hold on. Seiya Suzuki hit a homer off of him.
He did. He did hit a homer off of him.
Got to throw that.
He had a 15 strikeout Greg Maddux-like performance. He had a complete game in under 100 pitches. It may have even been under. I may be wrong, but maybe under 90. I could be wrong, but he's just been nasty. As much as I can't stand the guy, he's like a little kid. He goes out and pitches, then he goes in the clubhouse and plays with his Pokemon cards, and then he comes right back out and shoves it down your throat again.
Hard on a glove.
It's
I like those. I like those. Going into the season, I probably would have said Trey Savage for the AL. He's not doing bad this season, but you just don't hear a lot about him like you did. His current ERA, it's a sub 3, 3.72, 69 strikeouts. His WHIP is a sub 1, 1.16. But for the AL, I got to go with a guy that I was really hoping. He was number 1 on my pick for the Cubs to get this offseason. Edward Cabrera is number 2. I'm going to go with the mighty Joe Ryan. This man just goes about his business. He's got a 6-5 record right now with a sub 2 ERA, 2.85. A 1.05 WHIP, 128 strikeouts over 110.1 innings pitched.
Steve, does he get traded? Just real quick, does he get traded?
No, because I want the Cubs to get him. And I know the Cubs are not going to try to get him. Man, I wish they would. It makes me sad. I don't know, man. Like he could, because there's teams that could spend the money, obviously, like the Dodgers, that need
Yeah.
the starting pitching. Steve Cohen may get crazy at the trade deadline. He's probably going to be buying when he should be selling. We'll see what happens. But I like Joe
That's
Ryan a lot,
yeah, that's a
man.
good pick.
He's my
Good
AL
pick.
Cy Young pick if I could give it to somebody right now. And then, of course, for the NL, it's obviously Jacob Mizorowski. I mean, the other night, a couple weeks ago, I was watching him pitch, and he broke a record for throwing over 103-mile-an-hour balls. He threw over 103 miles an hour, 10 consecutive pitches in a row. It was like 103, 105, 104 point whatever, then 103, 104, 103. I was like, this is just insane.
It's
We never.
stupid.
You also gotta think too. He maybe does have a little bit of an unfair advantage because he's so tall. So when he extends out to the
Yeah,
mound,
he's right on top of you. It's like he lands
yeah.
in the batter's box, it feels like. At least that's what it looks like.
We've just never seen.
It's like you're trying to swing
like
and his hand's in your way because the ball is just right there. His hand and the ball is just right there in your face. It just, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler. I don't know how anybody hits him.
Who's your who wins the Rookie of the Year if you could give it away right now?
Did we say MVP? Are we doing that? Like, okay, Rookie of the Year. AL's got to be Kevin McGonigal. He has been so good for Detroit. He's basically carried the offense. I know like the home run numbers aren't crazy, but 11 stolen bases, 812 OPS. He's slugging 420. Hello. I think it's Kevin McGonigal easy. He plays a premier position. Words, they're hard. In Detroit, I believe it's Kevin McGonigal. As far as the NL, you could go with a lot of guys, but the guy, I hate to say it because I'm a Cubs fan. I believe it's JJ Weatherholt right now.
Yep.
13 homers. He plays all over the place. I know he's primarily a second baseman, but he can play other spots in the infield. He's a guy, especially when I know we could sit here and try to say the kid, the shortstop in Pittsburgh. Why's my mind gone blank? Gosh, my buddy.
The kid, Connor Griffin.
Connor Griffin, yeah. I know a lot of us were saying Connor Griffin at the beginning of the season. He's had a solid year, even though he's been hurt here and there. But I think right now, as much as it pains me to say, it's JJ Weatherholt in the NL.
For me in the AL, I kind of want to go Murakami.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a very good one.
I'm stuck between Murakami and Parker Messick because Parker having a sub-2 ERA, his rookie season being just a great rookie frontline arm for the Guardians. And from my understanding, I don't know if he's had any injuries this year. He's been pretty consistent, and that's just something that can be hard to come by from a rookie picture.
He started 19 games. He may have been on the IL just for a minute, but to start 19 games as a rookie the first half of the season, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we all know that sometimes it can be hard, I guess I should say, for international players to adjust to the MLB. And Murakami has adjusted well. I thought he did pretty good for his first time in the home run derby yesterday. I watched that first hit, and God, it just flew out of the ballpark, and I was like, "Here we go. He's probably about to be the one that puts on a show." But
you're talking Murakami?
Yeah.
What about the
home run
derby? The interview? Did you see the interview with him yesterday when they asked what his favorite song was?
Yeah, I love that on Pat McAfee show.
He's saying, "What a classic!" How in the world did he know that's? I don't even know how he would know that song, but that was awesome.
I love that. If you don't listen to Clarence Carter, you're not living right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Clarence Carter's a good.
Clarence Carter needs to send Murakami a check.
I agree. I think for the AL Rookie of the Year, I'm probably going to pick Parker Messick, even though I kind of like the Murakami. And for the NL, Man, I mean, it's JJ Weatherholt, man, until proven otherwise. Like,
Yeah,
just
sucks to say it. I know. Yeah.
and I like Jordan Walker. How can you not like the dude? Like watching his interview last night, he just seems like a good kid and everything.
The
And
thing is, he's not a rookie.
no, I'm not talking about rookies. I'm just talking about like players on the Cardinals in general. And you
Oh
don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
like them,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
like Jordan Walker's so likable, and
St. Louis players are supposed to be
JJ,
they're supposed to be hateable people. They are.
right?
They're supposed to be, and yeah,
But not only am I a fan of the Cubs, I'm a fan of baseball, so I have to pick JJ Weatherholt. And I mean, congrats to the Cards fans because I know it's been rough the
yeah.
past couple of years. You're kind of ahead of schedule if you ask me, but we'll see what happens. And we'll do one more. MVP of the AL and NL. If you had to pick one today, who would it be?
AL, I believe it's Yordan Alvarez. I mean, the dude's got
Like
31 home runs. 31 home runs at the All-Star break. I know you could say, oh, well, he's primarily a designated hitter. Well, who else right now can compete with him? I guess you could say Bobby Witt Jr., but he's going to have to step it up a little bit. But 31 homers, he's 18, which is insane. 70 RBI and a 1.59 OPS. I mean, he's your guy. A 4.3 WAR, a 4.3 WAR from just mainly being a designated hitter.
God.
Super impressive. NL, only because he plays both positions, and he plays them both very well. If it was just based off their offensive stats, you can make an argument for PCA. But right now, it's Ohtani with just what he does. I mean, when you have a guy that throws every fifth, sixth day, that's also giving you 22 home runs and a 953 OPS. How can you not say him? But with that being said, even when he's on the mound, I mean, Jesus, let's see it right here. Well, if I can find it, he is rocking a 1.79 ERA in 14 games started, 95 strikeouts and 85 innings. I get it. He doesn't rank well with the other guys just because he doesn't have the innings. But when you got a guy that's giving you that on both sides, I mean, he's the MVP until he's not. Yeah. And it sucks to say because PCA is having such a great season.
Let me hit you with this. So, or let me get the AL out of the way. AL for me, MVP. I do like Yordan Alvarez. I kind of want to lean Junior Caminero.
Yeah, he's another good one. Yeah,
he's doing good, but Yordan Alvarez looks like he's just got a step above right now, Junior Caminero. So that's my pick for the AL. I will go PCA, and I don't care if they like me up in the comment section, say I'm biased or not, because here's why. Let me throw this at you. Come at me in the comment section, because I know people are going to probably think this is crazy, but check this out. One could argue, I'm not saying this is fact, but I'm saying one could argue, which I'm kind of going to do, that PCA and Ohtani have basically been equal with the bat, which is really interesting this season, because basically his at-bats, his average, PCA's average right now is like around 293, I think. Mm-hmm. And Shohei Ohtani's is 294. PCA, he's got 20 home runs, right?
Yeah. He's because he's a 2020 guy right now.
Yeah, and I think Ohtani's got about 20, 23.
He's got, I've got it for you right here. He has got 22 homers.
22 homers. Okay. PCA has around 50-ish RBIs. I think Ohtani's got about, 58?
Ohtani has 58 RBIs, yep.
Okay. So they're kind of pretty close to RBIs. And PCA has about 3 times, I think, as many stolen bases as Ohtani does. OPS for PCA, I think it's still around 908, right? I don't have the current stats up in front of me. I got something.
His OPS is Ohtani's OPS is 953. PCA's is 917.
Okay. So there's a lot of the thing there. I get it. Ohtani's pitching, and he's been straight dealing this year. That's probably what's going to get it for him, not because he's pitching, because he's been pitching pretty well. His bat has not been as good as it probably could be if he was just strictly DHing. But I mean, it's Otani and his bat's just fine. But what's going to happen for the rest of the season? How is he going to be able to sustain doing both into the playoffs and potentially another World Series again? He didn't do that last year. He didn't pitch and hit from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. We'll see what happens. PCA has those stats, and all he's doing is just playing offense and defense. He's not pitching. So we'll end up seeing what happens. I think their war is kind of around the same-ish, but I like PCA as obviously I like him. Biased opinion for the NL MVP and Yordan Alvarez for the AL MVP, but it's too early to tell. We're only halfway through the season, right? And
hey, can we do one more from that list as far as
yeah,
we had as far as breakout? Who's your breakout? I just want to know who your breakout guy is because I've got one. Who do you have as a breakout? Your biggest breakout right now?
Jack Caglione, a rookie this year.
No, he's a rookie last year.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Biggest breakout player, like a rookie, or does it
Just
matter?
just anybody that's broke out that you think I'll give you mine, and it's going back on just how much it pains me, but and we saw him last night, Jordan Walker of St. Louis.
Man,
As
that's a
much
good
as
one.
again, 22 homers, 74 RBIs at the break, and 887 OPS. And he just won the home run derby, which is even huge now because people,
Yeah,
I mean, the thing with Jordan Walker, he got sent down a couple times last season. He came up as a rookie with St. Louis with all this hope and promise and everything like this is going to be the guy. He struggled a little bit early, but it seems like he's figured it out. And he's a guy that is one of the main reasons why St. Louis is still in the playoff chase. And again, I hate saying those words about a St. Louis player, but yeah, he's my breakout guy so far.
I like that. I'm not mad at that. Um, and one way I was wanting to say Junior Caminero because I mean he was on like what a 8-game streak of hitting homers, but I think maybe you could argue his breakout year was last year potentially. So I'm
Oh
going to go
yeah,
with Ben Rice.
yeah, that's a good one.
Ben Rice, man, he's just been electric.
He's
And
carried that
consistent for
offense
the
so far
Yankees.
with
Yeah,
Aaron Judge out. Yeah,
and
that's
he's
a good
pretty much
one.
established himself as of right now as one of baseball's most
Sucked in
dangerous
the Derby
hitters.
last night though. Hate to see it from a Yankee player, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's another good one.
so I would go with Ben Rice, but yeah, we'll see what happens for these guys and these teams progressing because, well, as we all know, the dog days of August is right around the corner. Who can get over the slump? Who can stay hot, stay consistent, string at bats, get outs? Got some more baseball left to see, but got one or two more topics we want to hit you guys with. We'll try to get through them quick. Biggest second half storylines, Tyler. There are several fascinating questions heading to the stretch run. Let me hit you with 4. Can the surprising White Sox keep their division lead? Will the Yankees survive key injuries? Are the Dodgers still the team to beat? And which division race will be the most exciting one? Biggest second half stories. If you had to pick out of one of those 4, Tyler, which one do you think would be the biggest second half story?
I mean, with the White Sox, that division is it's back and forth so much. I think that division lead's gonna change more than any of them. The Yankees are going to survive their key injuries because they're the Yankees, and it's going to be it's a cakewalk for them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think it's the Dodgers. Can the Dodgers three-peat? As much as I hate to say that, as much as it's just the White Sox they're probably the most surprising team in all of baseball. But I think the biggest story is going to be can the Dodgers can the Dodgers three-peat? And
I like
not
that.
only that, is there somebody out there who's going to be the team that can step up and take out the Dodgers right now? Is there a clear team? But I think it's the Dodgers and whether or not they can. I mean, obviously they're going to make it to the playoffs. Obviously they're the team to beat right now because of just how well they're doing. I just want to know if because the only other team to three-peat ever is what, the 2001 or the 2001, or no, it's the 98, 99, 2000 New York Yankees. That's
I like it. For me, I'm gonna go with which division race will be the most exciting. I'm still rocking and rolling, baby, with the NL Central. I still think the NL Central right now is one of the most toughest, probably hardest division in all of baseball. I mean,
I'll agree with you, Steve. If Tweedledee and Tweedledum, if you know, you know, if Tweedledee and Tweedledum can make a move at the deadline and convince everybody that we're still in this thing.
Well, here's the thing. They've had some teams that's like surpassed way more what anybody thought they were going to do this year. Pirates has been a lot better. Cardinals, we're just still waiting for them to fall off. If you're Cubs fans or Reds fans or fans of any of those teams in the NL Central, but like you got the Cards, you've got the Cubs, and of course the Brewers sitting at the top. I think it's going to be a dogfight in the Central the entire way. So we'll see.
And I think you look at it this way: the first half, it's always like this. You've got teams that get hot, but if you look at every season, every second half, there's always teams that cool off. There's always teams that they got our hopes up at the beginning of the year, and now it's kind of like they've kind of fizzled out. Our Marlins going to be able to keep their wild card hopes up? Are like you said, the St. Louis Cardinals, are the Pirates? I love to see the Pirates make it to the playoffs. I just don't know if they do, but it's nice to see all these teams hot at the All-Star break. But as we all know, there's going to be some teams that are going to fizzle out and kind of go back down to earth a little bit. I just hope our Cubbies aren't one of them.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And as we wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to some rapid fire questions. We're going to throw some stuff out, and Tyler and I are going to answer them just as quick as we can and hit you with some rapid fire. All right, second half predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler, I'll let you lead things off. World Series matchup. Who do you got?
Oh, me. You know what?
And we got to go quick.
Dodgers, Mariners.
Dodgers, Mariners. Interesting. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay Rays and the Atlanta Braves. All right.
Ooh.
League MVPs. We kind of talked a minute ago, but we can say them again.
It's Ohtani and Alvarez for me. As much as I want to say PCA, I think it's Ohtani and Alvarez.
There you go. Alvarez and PCA was my picks, but Tyler's. If I was a bet man, I would take Tyler's predictions. Ladies and gentlemen, Cy Young winners. We kind of went over those again, but we'll recap it again.
I think Jacob Mizorowski from the NL. I think Dylan Cease is going to have a hot second half, and he's going to overtake Slittler and be your AL Cy Young.
Man, that's hard to argue with any of that. I'm still going to rock Joe Ryan, Cy Young for the AL, and Jacob Mizorowski for the NL. Biggest trade deadline acquisitions. What's going to be the biggest trade deadline acquisition, I should say?
I think the Cubs land Freddie Peralta, but it's going to cost them because New York's going to want some redemption from that god-awful PCA trade they gave us a few seasons ago.
Yeah, interesting. I'm going to rock with the White Sox picking up Aroldis Chapman, blistering the back part of the bullpen for the White Sox. Surprise playoff team. What's a team that's going to make the playoffs that's going to surprise everybody?
It's not a surprise right now at the moment, but if you would have said it at the beginning of the year, it definitely would have been a surprise. I think the White Sox are going to mess around and make the playoffs.
I like that. For me, I'm probably going to pick the Marlins.
That's a team that I would not want to see in the playoffs, but that's a good pick because of that pitching staff.
All right, here's a fun one. Biggest collapse.
Biggest collapse. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got it. This one's easy for me, and they're still going to they'll still make the playoffs. I think the Phillies are going to overtake the Braves in the NL East. As high up as the Braves were, and I say collapse. I get it. You know, you think, oh, they're not going to make the playoffs. I think they'll still make the playoffs. But I think the Phillies, as horrible as they started at the beginning of the year and as big of a division lead as the Braves had at the beginning of the season, I think the Phillies are going to pass them.
Interesting. I like that. And you know, out of what did I watch or read or something the other day? They were talking about like the top like 5 pitchers right now, and there's like 3 pitchers from the Phillies in there. Of course, Ranger Suarez, Christopher Sanchez, and I can't remember the other one. I like that. That's a good one. Biggest collapse. Biggest collapse. The Cardinals falling off a cliff and they don't even make the playoffs. Go Cubs. All right, moving right along. Home run leader. Say it. You know you want to say it. I'm going to say it. You might as well say it.
It's Schwarber.
It's Schwarber, baby.
Schwarber's going to, yeah.
Man, Jordan Walker got so lucky last night. And I saw where Strez, my boy Strez was in the comment section earlier. Shout out to Strez, the host for Pro Football Hub. Check them out. Strez was like, what about Jack Caglione last night? Hey, Jack done better.
He's a guy that I
pitched to him.
I was really hoping he was having, and he could have a good second half. He's a guy that I was really hoping was going to have just a big season this year. The Royals needed it bad. You get a punch of him and Bobby Witt Jr. in that lineup to go along with Salvi Perez and Vinny Pasquiano, man. But boy, yeah, he was a guy that I was really hoping that,
Who was your home run leader, or did you say it?
Schwarber.
Schwarber. Yeah, we both said that. Okay. And last question: which team gets hot after the break?
Oh, it's easy. This one's easier for me because they're the team that's going to cause the collapse. I think it's the Phillies. I think the Phillies are going to make a big move. Dare I say they go after Mike Trout as much as people don't, as much as hardcore Angel fans think he's not going anywhere. Dare I say Mike Trout goes to the Phillies and just finally gets to play in some meaningful playoff games.
That's, man, you know.
Dude, I get it.
He could just be what they're needing, because we did a radio interview last week in Philadelphia, and we were talking about Phillies and stuff a little bit, and I was telling some of the radio people, I was like, at some point, they got to stop running it back. They can only keep running it back for so long, and I think Trout would play great there.
He wouldn't. There's obviously going to be some pressure because it's Mike Trout, and all eyes are going to be on him. But at the same time, he's in a lineup where he's going to have so much protection. And Angel fans, if you talk to Angels fans, I know there's some hardcore ones in the media and with other companies as well that just want to talk about, well, it's not happening and it's an old, tiring just take, and it's just boring because it's not going to happen. He's done said he's not going anywhere. I don't care what you say. Look, everybody loves players that stick with a team, with one team their entire career. But even Griffey didn't stay with the Mariners his entire career. You look at that. Mike Trout's at a point in his career. He's healthy right now. This may be his last full healthy season. I know he was on the IL earlier this year, but his last full healthy season, he's about 35 years old, 34, 35 years old. He's married, got several kids, probably not going to play much longer. This may be one of the last seasons we see a good Mike Trout. And in the back of his mind, he's thinking, man, if I had the opportunity to play on a playoff contending team right now, 5 seasons ago, he maybe would have said, no, I love this place. I love LA, blah, blah, blah. But you give him an opportunity to play in his hometown of Philly with Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, that pitching staff, man, I wouldn't want to play him if I was the Cubs, but I would love to see it for Mike Trout to be on a playoff contending team like the Phillies.
I like it. For me, the team that's going to get hot after the break, I'm going with the Yankees. They're obviously going to get Judge back. They're going to get some guys back. And when Judge is in that lineup, you're talking about just a completely different team than when he's not in that lineup. But you know what? That's baseball. Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're not. You got to get them bench guys to step up. We'll see what trade.
Who you got winning tonight? AL.
NL.
It's
NL,
always
baby.
NL. It's always
NL. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for hanging out with Tyler and I. He's Tyler Edmonds. I'm Steve Jewell. This has been another episode of the Dugout Dispatch. As we record tonight, the All-Star game is tonight. It's coming on literally like 50 minutes. Enjoy the All-Star break. Hope you enjoyed the Home Run Derby. Enjoy the rest of the season. We will be right here with you guys. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys on the next one. You guys have a great rest of your week. We're out. See ya.
Later.